Yeah, I'm not sure if you read or are familiar with Peter Attia's Outlive, his book. And
I'm not.
okay, well,
I'm not, because is it a book about walking with the fucking weighted vest on and doing like mediocre PRI exercises and telling people you lift weights with medium shirts on and a bicep? Like, I don't like. What are we doing here?
so
Boomers just got to stop, dog.
100%. And up until I stopped reading after like chapter 5 to give you some any context there. But the one thing that was refreshing to hear was like he said training is the number one is the most important thing in longevity because you see a lot of people out here. It's like recovery, it's supplements, it's nutrition wars, it's all these things. But it was refreshing to finally hear him say, like, "Hey, all this shit's great, but like you got to train hard." And he does a lot of endurance, and he like not a whole lot of strength stuff. And I'm sure you're chime in on that, but it sounds like from what I'm hearing for you, like none of the other stuff matters as much as just proper programming and training hard and the right way.
Dude, I don't want to live forever, dog. I don't want to be here long. I've done a lot. I'm almost 34 years old. Like, look at my face. Like, it's a catcher's mitt. Are you joking me?
It's
I
beautiful,
don't.
man.
The longevity thing is an insane market because no one's getting their money back if they die of a heart attack if they follow this advice. I would much rather, like, I don't necessarily, sure, like, I understand, again, reversion to the mean, right? Oh, VO2 max, number one thing you can do for your health. It's like, okay, based on people who, what? But what is this research? Like, and I don't disagree.
Hmm.
It's just like, look, my parents are old and they're out of shape. And my sister's a medical doctor and she gets really stressed about their health status. And it's like, I just think there's an understated, and I think Peter would agree, and not that I think this is ever going to reach his ears. And if it does, I don't hope this to be defamatory. I would like, I enjoy this discourse in a civil manner. But I just think there's an understated element of happiness that's lost amongst all the my parents. My dad smoked his fucking 5 packs of cigarettes a day until he figured out he was going to have my sister, and then he stopped. And then he's been drinking 3 beers a day and for 45 years. And my sister's like, "Oh, you're getting old." Yeah, I'm going to enjoy the time I have with him. And I'm not going to smack the beer at his hand. I'm not going to give him a lecture about vitamin D. I'm not going to talk about fucking, NAD drips and all this shit. I'm going to sit there and, have water when he drinks beer. And that's going to be it. So it's like, what longevity is it's wellness of 2024. What are we selling? Medicine for the not sick. And then when people get sick, it's like, well, yeah, it's like there's zero accountability. Performance has accountability. Right? So it's like, and you want to talk again to steal from Stan, fucking shout out Stan Efferding. Compliance is a science. It's like I can get people on board by setting mile markers they can reach. The mile marker is not your 100th birthday. What is that party like? Does Peter come to your fucking 100th birthday? Is that what comes with the fucking 8,000 page book? Peter Attia shows up to everyone. No, right? Like it's just such a pipe dream, and look, it instills hope, and as long as it gets people moving, it's kind of like my stance on CrossFit. It's like, is it the preferred training modality? No, probably not. Is any training modality better than none? Yes, absolutely. And I love the fact that, and I haven't read it all, so I feel really bad about not even getting 5 chapters in, let alone the whole book, but I'm to understand it's extensive. Uh, I just, if as long as it gets people active and that brings them joy, sure. But some people, you gotta understand, there's people that have a physiological disposition to not enjoying exercise,
Mm.
right? There's people who have a physiological disposition to not having sex. And it's just like, what are you just gonna like tell them like, wow, no, you have to? It's like, nope, don't do that. That's against the law. Like that's no, definitely means no. But it's like, fuck, can we stop? Like, can we stop with the gerrymandering the lines around our particular vantage point so we can be deemed as an authority? Like, it just, it's human nature to create these cult of personalities where people are going to rally around people who they resonate with. And I'm sure there's hopefully not that many people who are listening to me going, this guy's making a lot of sense. Like, I hope that people aren't out there because it's like, I don't know if we need a world full of people that think like I do, but it's like what is the litmus test, right? So yeah, you can live for a long time, and you can do these things to statistically and potentially clinically, move that needle. But can we talk about quality?
Mm.
Ruck march? Grew up in fucking Canada, dog. Ruck march, backpack, textbooks, uphill both ways, snowing sideways for 6 months of the year. I've done my rucking. Thanks very much. I have a car now and I like it, so I drive it everywhere. Right? And it's like, what is the qual? Like people are just they're convincing themselves, given the popularity of some of these boomer fitness influencers, that they like this stuff. And it's like there are so many ways to be happy or fulfilled that aren't just following the trend du jour of the most famous, new age Dr. Oz of the health and fitness space. So it's just like it's just a much bigger conversation that's just very frustrating because longevity is the snake oil of all snake oils, in my opinion. And people get lost in the sauce of like, these fucking lizard people want to live like billionaires and live forever. It's like, man, no, like what kind of life when you're taking all these supplements, or a research paper could completely destroy your worldview. It's like, stop, just fucking stop. Like there's so much more to life than that. And you're talking to me. This is all I do, and I'm going. There's way more.